It's Wednesday, February 26, 2025. Thanks for tuning in today. An absolutely beautiful day. Another hot one, about 95 degrees as I make this video late this afternoon. But I want to get right into things here. This first article from the Financial Times: route wipes $800 billion from crypto market as Bitcoin slump deepens in recent weeks. Real quick, Dow Jones down 188 today, NASDAQ up 48, gold, as I make this video, is up around $6. Bitcoin's down about 4,000, sitting around 84,000. It dipped into the 82,000 range today, hitting correction territory. This to me, and look, you can love crypto and Bitcoin all you want, God bless you, but this to me proves it is not a safe haven asset, nor is it a currency. It is way too volatile. All of these cryptos are extremely volatile, so they are proving not to be a safe haven asset. They are proving not to be a currency, and they prove more and more every day that these things are trading right with the markets. If the market tanks, more than likely you're going to see the cryptos tank. And I really hope that people are very, very careful out there. I still see a lot of people on social media, I've seen this over the months, really pumping this stuff. And look, as long as you are aware that you are gambling, but there are so many snake oil salesmen out there, so many fraudsters, so many con men out there trying to sell this stuff while they're getting paid. And they're putting people in a very, very vulnerable position. People have been, they've pulled out money out of their homes. They've used credit cards to buy this stuff. They've gone literally into debt buying this stuff. And when you see big corrections like the ones we're seeing, people get hurt. They begin to lose money. And look, people have made money. Very, very clear. People have made money. People make money gambling in Vegas all the time. But the house always wins. So be very, very careful here. Get ready for a rug pull, more volatility. Be very careful what you're doing, but be careful who you're listening to and the people that continue to sell this stuff, telling you it's going to go to $1 million and getting you to buy this stuff. And then when it turns, they just kind of disappear, or they just tell you, hang on, it's going to go up, it's going to go up. Maybe it does, but this is, I think, a very, very dangerous game, especially with where we're at in this economy, and people have taken out so much debt to buy into these markets, to buy into the cryptos. And if these markets turn, people are going to take a massive haircut. They're really gambling, ladies and gentlemen, and they just don't understand. Markets can turn. Cryptos can go to zero. Market collapses. Housing collapses. This is all beginning to happen right now. And when people rush to the exits, they're just not going to be able to get out in time. So maybe it's a good time to take a little bit off the table. The Federal Reserve's favorite recession indicator is flashing a danger sign again on CNBC. The 10-year Treasury yield passed below that of the 3-month note in Wednesday trading. This is another inverted yield curve and another warning, ladies and gentlemen. And we've been ignoring the warnings with the yield curves for quite a while. And here's another one today. We just think that it's different this time. Is it different than this? Is it different this time? Yeah, I think it's a little bit different because I think this is going to be much worse than anything we have ever lived through before. That's the difference. The hedge, new home sales plunge in January as mortgage rates spiked. New home sales puked 10.5% month over month in January. They were expected to drop only 2.6%, instead 10.5%. Be careful. And if you're selling a home right now, get ahead of this market. One word of advice I would give you is do not chase this market down. Get ahead of it. Be the next sale on your block. Insiders at D.R. Horton sold $4.5 million in stock, alluding to potential weakness. Does that mean anything to any of you when you see insiders dumping builder stock like this? This is on Yahoo Finance. Do they know something? Do they know something is coming? We've watched for months now as the new home builders have been throwing in lots of incentives to sell new homes. They're buying down mortgage rates. They're throwing in lots of incentives. It could be the tri-routine tile, could be a swimming pool, could be custom doors, whatever, and they're lowering price. So they're doing all of this at the same time in order to move these homes. This is what they've been doing for months and months. And I think that we are on the cusp of really seeing a major housing crash here very, very soon. Trump says Zeldin plans to cut up to 65% of EPA staff. This on the Hill today. We are going to see so many people lose their jobs. Make sure you do everything in your power not to lose a job. If you're working for the federal government, you better be responding and replying to these emails, because if you're not, you're going to be on the chopping block. They're just looking for a reason to get rid of you now. If you are a non-essential worker, which apparently a lot of these government jobs are, just non-essential jobs, you're going to be gone. So you better do everything you can to hang on to your job. If you're in the private sector, look, do whatever you can do to save your job at this point. And I hope that most of you are going into the office showing your face, because the people, statistically, the people who are not showing up, the people who are not showing their faces, the people who are not in the office, those are the people who go first. So make sure that you're showing up and doing a good job. And look, it may not be the job of your dreams, but hang in there until the dust settles, ladies and gentlemen. This economy, this job market is going to get extremely dicey. 1 million federal workers responded to Musk's mass email asking to list accomplishments. So that means 2 million government workers did not respond. So either they don't exist, or they don't know how to check email, or they just can't be bothered to write a 5-minute email. Do these people really deserve to have a job? Do the taxpayers really, don't they really deserve better? I think as a taxpayer, we deserve people that can respond to an email, that can give us a list of things they did last week, can take the time out of their busy day. Many of these people have been working from home, taking bubble baths, going to baseball games, going to the mall, watching reality TV, playing video games on your dime. It is now time for accountability. These people need to take accountability, and we need to have accountability to where our money is going and where it is gone. So many people have been robbing the system, and they're so worried about, you know, your Social Security, your Medicare, your Medicaid. If we don't find out where the theft is coming from and who's committing it, there's going to be nothing left for anybody. So to me, if you're worried about Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security and everything else, then you should demand accountability so that we can get the criminals and the thieves who are robbing the system out. So maybe there's a little bit more to go around for everybody else who deserves it and who isn't robbing the system. Federal agencies told to start planning for large-scale layoffs in Trump administration memo. Thousands right now, currently, in the last couple of weeks, thousands of probationary workers have already lost their jobs. If your job isn't essential at this point, you're probably done. And this is going to be very interesting to see how this affects the economy, because so many people are going to be cut out of these government jobs, out of these federal jobs. And they have homes. They have cars, they have credit cards. How is this going to affect the economy? Will this be inflationary? How will it affect the housing market? How is it going to affect the job market? You're going to have a lot of people coming out of the government sector into the private sector looking for jobs. It is going to get very, very competitive. And think for a minute how many millions of people from other countries are here who are getting cut off the dole from government subsidies, who are going to be hungry, who aren't going to be able to stay at luxury hotels, who aren't going to have $5,000 debit cards, and they're going to be hungry and they have to feed themselves and their families, and they're going to have to find a way to make money. So I don't know if that's going to be through crime or if that's going to be through jobs, but I think we're going to see things in 2025 that we have never seen, at least in my lifetime. And I think that this is going to be a very, very interesting year. So let me know your thoughts on any of this, how you're preparing for this, what you're doing to keep your job. Are you working side hustles? Do you have 3 jobs? What's going on out there? The Independent. Egg prices expected to rise more than 40% in 2025. So that tells most of us that food prices probably aren't going to be coming down anytime soon. Be ready. Maybe we'll see another, cattle ranch fire. Remember the thousands of acres last year in Texas that burnt with the out there in cattle country. Remember the food processing centers last year. How many of them burnt down? Seemed like every week some food processing center burnt down. Will we see another disease? We're seeing all types of things in our food with these food recalls, the chicken, the bird flu. Will we see more droughts this summer? One word of advice I will give everybody: make sure that you're adding a little bit to your food stocks. Have a little bit of emergency food put away. Put a little extra canned food away. A couple extra bottles of water. Put this stuff all away because again, so much is going on with droughts, fires, floods, bird flus. Who knows what we wake up to tomorrow? Better safe than sorry, in my opinion. Here's another one from The Hedge. Peter Schiff, the markets see stagflation. How many of you agree with Peter Schiff? Do you see stagflation ahead? Powell's plan for stagflation, as we all know, is to hope we don't have it. That is a terrible, terrible plan. And many people still to this day continue putting their economic security in the hands of these people like Jerome Powell. These people have no plan. There's no tools in the toolbox. There's no more magic tricks. I don't know if these people are even competent at this point. Competent or corrupt, I don't know. But at the end of the day, these people, you should not be putting your economic security in their hands because they are running out of time. They're running out of road. They're running out of tricks. They're running out of tools. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to be looking out for you. You will be on your own. Again, I'm out here. Everything looks beautiful. The mountains, another clear day. Very, very nice, clear skies today. But there is so much happening behind the scenes. And I think people better not get complacent. I think that there was, a Trump honeymoon going on in January. And a lot of enthusiasm, and a lot of people were literally in this euphoria that everything was going to be fixed overnight. It's not going to be that easy. Let me just sit here and talk to all of you while you're drinking your coffee today, watching this video. Do not get complacent. We are far from being out of the woods. We are in very, very big trouble. And I think that this administration is finding so much economic damage, so much wasteful spending, so much corruption, and they've already warned you that we're going to feel some pain. And I think that pain is going to be much more than people expect. Ambrose Evans Pritchard, economists, this is from the Telegraph, economists are starting to worry about a serious Trump recession. I don't know where they have been because we've been in a recession for over 2 years. I think most people watching this video, if they're honest with themselves, would agree we've been in a recession for years. We are now on the cusp of a depression, which I think we're going to be heading into. I don't think it's avoidable. But how many people, believe, comment down below that we've been in a recession? How many of you believe we've been in a recession? A year, 2 years, 3 years? I think we've been in it for quite a while. But, they're going to want to blame this administration. They're going to want to blame this president. Economists starting to worry. You haven't been worrying for the last 4 years? I've been worried to death over the last 4 years watching this country just decay right before my very eyes. Death by 1,000 cuts. Where have you been? This is the problem I have with all these people on the television, in the media. Now all of a sudden they're concerned. Where have you been? New York Post. Fox and Friends extends ratings lead as MSNBC's Morning Joe loses nearly half its audience since election. I don't watch that show. I don't even watch Fox and Friends. But why is Morning Joe losing their audience? Fox and Friends averaging around 1.5 million views an episode versus Morning Joe 651,000 views. There's YouTubers beating Morning Joe. What are your thoughts on this? Are people just now beginning to realize what's going on? Are people waking up? Are people beginning to see the light? Do they realize they've been lied to? That these people just keep pushing this propaganda every day. The economy's fine. Inflation's not that bad. Uncle Joe's doing a great job. Go out there, spend money. You have no idea what you're talking about. Everything's wonderful. This is all somebody else's fault. I mean, are people finally sick and tired of this propaganda? I think they really, really are. And again, I don't watch Fox and Friends, but apparently they are destroying Morning Joe. This I thought was really interesting and a breath of fresh air and some good news. What the actual F? Washington Post reporters meltdown. Editor quits after Jeff Bezos makes hard pivot towards personal liberties and free markets. Bezos announced this morning, Wednesday, that the Post opinion pages will be writing every day in support and defense of two pillars: personal liberties and free markets. What a refreshing change. Finally, some good news. So if we're going to report any good news today, this is it. A little respect, a little applause for Jeff Bezos. I'm not a giant fan of his, but this is a step in the right direction. The sunlight is finally hitting the vampires. And basically, if you don't like it, then you can just quit the Washington Post and go somewhere else. But it's refreshing to see some of these people finally standing up, like Musk, Zuckerberg, actually, seeing the light a little bit. Not saying that I respect these people or that I have the utmost respect or, worship these people, but these people they do have a lot of influence. And we should be promoting this. We should be applauding this. We should be supporting this. It's good to see people making these type of changes. And we don't know what type of pressure they were under during the past years, like Zuckerberg. Was there government pressure threatening them if they didn't do this, if they didn't, get rid of these people from speaking, if they didn't put this on the front page, if they didn't do this, do that, promote this agenda, promote that agenda, pro Uncle Joe. If they didn't do that, would there be consequences? Would they be punished? We don't know. I just think that there should be free speech on both sides of the platform and everything in between. You may not like it, you may not agree with it, but I believe everybody has the right to their opinion and say what they want to say. You can turn the page, you can turn the channel, you don't have to listen to it, you can support it, you don't have to support it. That to me is a free system. What we had seen over the past few years was not free because a lot of people were not allowed to speak. And it's good to see some of these billionaires now promoting liberty and free speech. And I'll tell you what, people will become wealthier over time with freedom, with allowing people to speak and allowing people on platforms to speak. Capitalism is always going to win. America's wealthiest households driving nearly half of consumer spending. This on Moody's. 10% of households making $250,000 or more account for 49.7% of consumer spending, a record since at least 1989. Now, the problem here is, and this is a big problem because you have a small group of people literally keeping this economy alive. And I think it's on life support at this moment. When the markets correct, and they're going to correct, collapse, whatever you want to call it, these households are going to slam the brakes on spending. Then what? 49.7% of the spending is gone. They're slamming the brakes. It's game over for the economy, what remains of this economy. So it's not good when the wealth is not spread out, when you have a small group of people literally, propping up half of the economy. Because if something happens to that small group, the rest of the economy is shot. So very interesting. Comment down below. And I want to finish with this last one. This is absolutely alarming. Brownsville, Texas, Texas rancher lost his life. Totally beyond belief, ladies and gentlemen. IEDs now on our southern border. And apparently this rancher drove over one in his pickup truck, and it literally blew the truck into pieces. It looked like something out of Iraq. And this is a Texas rancher from Brownsville, Texas, driving over an IED on U.S. soil. Texas Agricultural Commissioner Sid Miller released a shocking statement. He says this: exercise extreme caution in the lower Rio Grande Valley. Avoid dirt roads. Avoid remote areas. If you live in remote areas like the Rio Grande, how do you avoid dirt roads? You're a farmer, you're a rancher. How do you avoid remote areas and dirt roads? So now we have to contend with IEDs on U.S. soil in Texas. Unacceptable. This is really, really getting out of hand. And as I've said over the last year, be ready for any type of violence here in America. And when you see what the cartels are up to, and they don't like the threats against them now from this administration, we could see them lash out on American citizens. And I'm sure the administration is quite aware of what has taken place here. I'm sure they're not very, very happy. There may be retaliation. But what do you think now that we have cartels planting IEDs on remote roads in our southern border? Not good. Not good. So things are really getting chaotic, and I think they're going to get much worse before they get better. That's my opinion. I think the damage is unavoidable, and I think what we're heading into is unavoidable. But the damage is so severe, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm happy to see what DOGE is doing. I'm happy to see what the administration is doing. But I think we're going to definitely have to see a revaluation in gold to start getting the debt under control and stop the spending. And it's going to take years to get this under control. And then on top of it, all these jobs that we're going to see, these federal jobs, what are these people going to do? And then, of course, the private sector, we're going to see more job losses because the economy is in bad shape. And I think Peter Schiff is right. Stagflation. The stagflation boogeyman is knocking at the door, ladies and gentlemen. The stagflation boogeyman is knocking at the door. And I think we're in for some very, very spooky, scary times here in America, socially, politically, economically, and spiritually. So be preparing yourself every which way possible. I'm going to leave it there today. God bless every one of you. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. Talk to all of you soon.